Dana Mock, WDAY News.
New in the next hour of First News and happening later today. The State of the City address is expected to be a full house today in Fergus Falls, and it will have a special guest in attendance. We'll tell you how you can watch the whole thing live.
And Homeward Animal Shelter is hosting a fundraiser luncheon to help spay and neuter pets. We'll tell you how you can give back by ordering a hot plate of spaghetti.
And an open house for people living in and around the town of Erskine. We'll tell you where and when you can learn more about a summer road construction project on Highway 2.
And this morning, what we're tracking, it's of course going to be our winter storm. We got accumulating snow. It's going to be moving in here throughout today. It's been holding off this early morning, maybe a few flurries, a little dusting near the border with South Dakota. Very strong winds expected throughout the day, especially across eastern South Dakota, southwestern Minnesota, but they're going to pick up. Already feeling the effects of those this morning. We have Emily outside. She's been showing us those winds and some of the snow in parts of the area, and it's going to create some very dangerous travel later on today into the night. So this is going to slowly be moving on in. I'll be giving an idea of how long this will stick around and how it will affect the rest of your forecast coming up here in the next hour First News.
You're watching WDAY First News, the news leader.
This is First on First News. Mark Kennedy may not pack his bags just yet. Why the University of Colorado Board of Regents is now reconsidering offering him the presidential position.
And the spring snowstorm is about to settle into our region. Our WDAY Storm Tracker team is tracking your commute conditions, plus just how much snow we're going to get.
And Hankinson already dealing with a little bit of that spring snowstorm that's headed into the metro. We'll show you what they're dealing with coming up.
And First News takes you to Washington, D.C. this morning, where another person may have been caught in Robert Mueller's web. We'll tell you about the newest man linked to the Russia probe.
Good morning. It's Thursday, April 11th, just after 6 o'clock. I'm Rob Minch.
And I'm Sarah Rudlane. And as we speak, the spring storm is already settling into some parts of the valley. Storm Tracker meteorologist Jared Piepenberg is tracking its route.
Well, this morning it's been holding off a little bit. You saw Emily's outside. She's in the very southern tier of the valley here for us down in Hankinson. So she's looking at a little bit of snow kind of moving on in already this morning, a little bit on the ground here. It's just kind of taking its time. Also, we still have some dry air in place. So this breeze that is around this morning is kind of a drier breeze. It's kind of pulling that drier air and just holding that off. So you can see it's still mainly across South Dakota into central parts of Minnesota. We've even noticed some more thunder snow. If you tuned in yesterday, I was talking about that in the morning. That's down in southwestern Minnesota. Still a lot of weather headlines. Toughest conditions with this storm will be in eastern South Dakota, southwestern and western parts of Minnesota, including Alexandria to Sisseton, meaning that it's not too far away from that. Still going to be very tough travel today, especially for the southern half of the valley as this snow continues to move on in. Winds will increase. It's going to get especially windy over eastern South Dakota, southwestern Minnesota. It's going to be pretty breezy in the northern half of the valley as the snow moves in later on today. I got this pause at 6 p.m. So Grand Forks, your morning commute, even your lunchtime hours, may be all right here, but later on, late afternoon, evening hours when that snow will move in. I think Fargo, Moorhead, and to the south, it's going to be before lunchtime. We're going to see this snow develop here and start to accumulate, and then later on today, it's just going to get very tough for the afternoon, evening hours for us. Already seeing the winds out of the northeast sustained around 20, even to 31 in Alexandria, and temperatures out there this morning, 20s to some lower 30s. So it's kind of a cool one. Temps really not going to change much today into tomorrow, so we're going to hold their upper 20s, lower 30s. Travel today will get worse as the day continues on. This morning going into work, probably not going to be a big factor at all, but later on as you're heading home, it will be. So travel today, I'll be going over that in just a little bit, talk more about the snow, some blowing snow, and all the other conditions that come with it.
Well, it's only a matter of hours until that winter storm that Jared just mentioned hits the metro.
And WDAY reporter Emily Olson is joining us live this morning following that storm. Good morning, Emily.
Rob, Sarah, good morning. About 15 minutes ago, we were in open country in Hankinson, and if you were tuned in, then you could probably see just how much more windy it was out there than it is here in downtown Hankinson. We do have some protection from some of the buildings and neighborhoods when we are downtown, but as we're coming down here on I-29, we didn't notice that any of the conditions were affecting visibility. We did see some light flurries, but nothing was really sticking to the ground as soon as we hit Wahpeton, and Wahpeton is where we started to see that snow starting to stick thick on the ground. You can actually see here in Hankinson, they've got a couple of inches, maybe an inch or so already right now. But speaking of road conditions, as Jared has been mentioning all morning long, South Dakota is dealing with that spring-winter storm, and it's kind of sitting down there for now, and they've actually closed I-29 from the North Dakota border all the way down to Sioux Falls. So definitely something that we're going to want to pay attention to. Coming up in a little bit, we're going to tell you about how Hankinson has actually closed schools for today and take you out to open country to show you just how windy it is out there. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Emily. And as we prepare for that snow to hit our region, South Dakota is dealing with lots of snow and high wind speeds right now. If you're planning on heading to South Dakota, don't do it. I-29 from North Dakota border to Sioux Falls is closed right now because of a blizzard in South Dakota. Some places in South Dakota already have more than a foot of snow, and winds are gusting to 40 miles an hour, making whiteout conditions.
And in southern Minnesota, a handful of highways just south of the Twin Cities are closed. This video is from I-35 yesterday. This morning, wind gusts of around 50 miles per hour are expected to hit. Authorities say you can expect these conditions to continue into tomorrow. The city of Fargo is now gearing up to go back into winter mode.
With that snow in the forecast, they worked all day yesterday, putting plows back on and getting trucks ready to spread sand. They also have to pull off around 30 water pumps to protect them from the snow. They say even if the snow misses us, they couldn't take that chance. The city would like to remind people that even though we won't get as much snow as our neighbors to the south, the streets will still be slippery, so drive carefully. And the big snowstorm coming our way is going to have a huge impact on the flood fight.
Crews who have been busy delivering sandbags will be driving plows the next few days. With only a dozen guard members now available, people are being asked to get the request for sandbags in now, as it may become impossible later. Make sure your man-made levees are built strong enough to sustain 40-mile-per-hour winds and crashing waves. And unlike your typical winter storm where snowbanks pile up on the roads, now there's water, making no room for error. So with much water on the roads, there are concerns about ice jams creating water to dam up. Road crews will be keeping a close eye on that and have equipment ready to break up the ice.
And we have some breaking news this morning out of London. WikiLeaks co-founder Julian Assange has been arrested at the Ecuadorian embassy.
Police say they took Assange into custody on a court warrant from 2012. Assange hasn't left the embassy since August 2012 out of fear of being extradited to the U.S. for publishing thousands of classified military and diplomatic documents on WikiLeaks. Police say Assange is being held at a central London station and will be brought to the Westminster Magistrates Court as soon as possible.
Another indictment could be coming related to Special Counsel Robert Mueller's probe. This time, it involves a former Obama official. Attorneys for Greg Craig, a former White House counsel, say they expect him to be indicted. He came under legal scrutiny for reportedly lying to investigators about work he did for Ukraine back in 2012. The special counsel initially looked into the case, but it was later transferred to a federal court in Washington. Sources familiar with the matter say the indictment could come as early as today. Craig's attorneys maintain that he is innocent. Prosecutors in New York have also looked into the case and decided not to bring charges.
UND President Mark Kennedy's new job could be in jeopardy this morning. WDAY told you how Kennedy is the lone finalist to be the next president at the University of Colorado. Yesterday, last night, Regent Leslie Smith tweeted, quote, "Some information about Mark has come to light that is concerning. My colleagues and I will be exploring this further." There is a 14-day vetting period before the Board of Regents votes for president. Another regent, Carol Napier, told the Boulder Daily Camera newspaper that she's concerned that Kennedy voted against same-sex marriage and abortion rights while in Congress. Napier called on the board to reconsider Kennedy and that voting for him would be harmful. If Kennedy is voted in, he will leave UND in late May or early June.
Today, a Moorhead mom charged with kidnapping her own kids will be sentenced. 39-year-old Izetta Cooley pleaded guilty in November to one felony count of violating custody protection orders. Additional charges were dropped. 5 of Cooley's children went missing in September. She was accused of taking 2 of them from foster care. Cooley's husband, Miguel Cooley, is charged with murder in connection with the fatal shooting of 20-year-old Gabriel Perez on September 23rd. He's headed for a trial in September.
The acting director of Immigrations and Customs Enforcement is stepping down. Ron Vitello will leave his leadership post at the end of the week. That's according to a letter sent to ICE employees yesterday. His nomination to lead the agency in a permanent position was suddenly pulled by the White House last Thursday. He was nominated by President Trump to head the agency back in August. But last Friday, Trump said he wanted to go in, quote, a tougher direction. And coming up, we're going to get another look at that spring snowstorm that is headed our way.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough one, and we're going to track what looks like it could be up to a foot of snow in our area.
6-year financing has been extended at Home Furniture. Everything is on sale, and you can finance it free for 6 years. Plus, get free shipping. Extended savings with extended 0% financing for 6 years. Now at Home Furniture.
The toughest truck in the Northland is back for a limited time. Don't miss the Northland Edition F-150, America's best-selling truck 42 years straight. It's got best-in-class towing and payload. Also best-in-class horsepower. Plus other smart features to tackle whatever the Northland throws your way. Don't miss your chance to get a 2019 Northland Edition F-150. Get over $11,000 in total savings plus $750 Northland cash on a Northland Edition F-150 at your local Northland Ford dealer.
Ever wished you had more? At OutletRecreation.com, you'll experience more. By more, we mean more inventory, more accessories, and more savings. More campers, boats, and fish houses in stock than any other dealer in the region. More parts and accessories with full-service facilities at all 4 of our locations. And of course, more savings with the largest discounts in the industry. Stop into any of our locations in Fargo, Detroit Lakes, and Clearwater and experience more at OutletRecreation.com.
Hi, Dave Anderson from Dakota Monument Company. A memorial is not about a life past, but a life shared, honored, and celebrated for generations to come. Memorials can be as distinctive as the person for whom it celebrates. Our showroom features many unique, traditional, and cremation memorials. Please stop in to explore the possibilities or call for an in-home consultation. Dakota Monument Company, making memories last forever. On University Drive and 24th Avenue in South Fargo, or online at dakotamonument.com.
It takes a team to bring the story home every day. It takes a leader to build a legacy of trust.
As the only locally owned news station in the region, we're there for you at every turn.
We're your neighbors, telling the stories that matter because your community is our community.
So when you need to reconnect, remember that we're working every day, just like you.
Trying to make a better tomorrow.
WDAY News, the only locally owned news station in the region.
Now at Home Sleep Express, get 6 years zero-interest financing on any Tempur-Pedic. Plus, Home will give you a $300 gift card, free delivery, setup, and a 120-night comfort guarantee. Tempur-Pedic with 6-year interest financing at Home Sleep Express.
The news is brought to you by the Amish Gallery.
The European Union has granted the United Kingdom's request for an extension on Brexit.
This comes before the hard deadline that was set for tomorrow. The so-called flextension the EU granted kicks the can down the road for as long as 6 months until Halloween. There's also a review set for June. British Prime Minister Theresa May now has to get her withdrawal deal through the British Parliament, which has already rejected it 3 times. The UK also has the option of canceling Brexit altogether. EU President Donald Tusk finished the announcement yesterday with a message to the UK saying, quote, "Please do not waste time." And a trial is now being moved to July, so a Fargo man accused of shooting and killing his father can take a mental health evaluation.
Authorities went to 35-year-old Christopher Riley's apartment back in September and found his father, Kevin Riley Sr., dead. At first, police thought that the case was a suicide, but evidence suggested that it was a homicide. Riley pleaded not guilty to the charge back in November. The evaluation will determine his current state of mind and any possible mental defect at the time that his father was shot. It'll also look at whether or not Riley is mentally fit enough to participate in his own defense. The trial was moved to July to ensure that Riley's evaluation is complete.
And if you're heading out the door to get to work this morning now, you're probably fine, right, Jared? But later on, not so much.
Yeah, it's going to be a little kind of Jekyll and Hyde here. So this morning, things are pretty quiet for us throughout most of the valley. The snow has stayed a little bit farther down toward the south, and then later on today, this will lift northward into the area, starting in the southern half of the valley. It's just moving over the border, so not quite to Fargo or anywhere close to us quite yet, but you can see a little bit closer view here, just about to Wahpeton, so down toward the south, Sisseton to Alexandria, dealing with some snow. This will just kind of slowly lift northward throughout the day. Here's the actual Doppler radar radar so you can see where the snow is, because sometimes the satellite radar will show what looks like some snow, just maybe kind of evaporating before it hits the ground. So just maybe a couple flurries between Wahpeton to Fargo Moorhead. So most of our tower cam views pretty quiet out there this morning. It's just kind of breezy. It's going to be kind of chillier, but later on today that snow will continue to move on in. So southern half of the valley from Fargo to the border there, it'll be kind of a morning to lunchtime situation. Fargo to Grand Forks afternoon, Grand Forks to the international border about evening into the earlier parts of the night. So more of this will fill in. We're going to have accumulating snow. Winds are going to increase. So travel later on today will be much tougher than it will be out there this morning. And overnight, still very tough into parts of tomorrow. Winds already picking up out of the northeast, pretty windy, especially for the southern half of the valley this morning. And winds are expected to continue to increase. I won't doubt if we have some gusts 35, 40 miles per hour throughout the day here, which is just going to make for very tough travel. So it's going to be a tough one later on this afternoon toward the evening hours for much of the valley into the overnight hours as well. So maybe I'll take the dog out here for a walk. This morning's going to be probably all right, but later on today, maybe they'll be the only ones enjoying it, as I know a lot of dogs like to run around in the snow and play in that. So I'll be going over that forecast, talking more about the storm coming up.
Customers at Walmart can now go green with new reusable bags at the checkout.
What new initiative the company is trying and how much the bags will cost coming up.
The toughest truck in the Northland is back for a limited time. Don't miss the Northland Edition F-150, America's best-selling truck 42 years straight. It's got best-in-class towing and payload, also best-in-class horsepower, plus other smart features to tackle whatever the Northland throws your way. Don't miss your chance to get a 2019 Northland Edition F-150. Get over $11,000 in total savings plus $750 Northland cash on a Northland Edition F-150 at your local Northland Ford dealer.
Run with us on a John Deere 3E Series tractor and add an attachment or two, because it's time to turn this land and everything on it, as far as the eye can see, into your land. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Tractor packages for every need. RDO does that. Stop by to see for yourself or visit RDOequipment.com.
Right now, get 11% off everything at Menards. It's time to rethink cabinetry with Clearview Cabinet Garage. With Clearview, you can custom configure wall, base, and utility cabinets to create the optimal workspace. They feature diamond plate texture doors available in 4 finishes. The full extension drawers hold up to 77 pounds each. And right now, get 11% off all Clearview cabinetry, only at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Stay one step ahead of severe weather and be prepared for the day ahead with the Storm Tracker app, powered by Laney's. As conditions change, get alerts and updates straight from the WDAY Storm Tracker team with accurate weather reports specific to your area. Just search WDAY in the Apple or Google Play Store. Download the Storm Tracker app and be ready to plan your day. The Storm Tracker app, powered by Laney's. Download it today.
It takes a team to bring the story home every day. It takes a leader to build a legacy of trust.
As the only locally owned news station in the region, we're there for you at every turn.
We're your neighbors, telling the stories that matter because your community is our community.
So when you need to reconnect, remember that we're working every day, just like you.
Trying to make a better tomorrow.
WDAY News, the only locally owned news station in the region. You're watching First News on WDAY.
This morning, snow continues to head our direction, just kind of crossing over the border into southern tier of the Red River Valley. Fargo Moorhead, we've stayed dry. Most of the area this morning, it's going to be a little quieter start, but later on, as the morning continues on, this will move into the southern half of the valley. From Fargo to Grand Forks, kind of looks like about midday into the afternoon. Grand Forks to the international border, probably around the evening hours, and later on as this kind of lifts northward. And the wind's already picking up, so it's breezy in the north, but pretty windy already in the south. Fergus Falls sustained winds at 23 miles per hour. Gusts have been a little bit higher, and winds are forecast to continue to increase throughout the day, especially throughout the afternoon toward the evening hours. That's when I think the storm will be at its peak for the valley. So where the snow is coming down, where we have our peak winds for sustained winds and gusts, it's going to be very difficult travel later on. Temps this morning right around freezing with some 20s out there. So as you're taking the dog out for a walk, this morning's probably going to be all right. This morning, Bailey sent in a picture of Suki. So it is, and I think it is, was it National Love Your Pet Day? Is that what it was, guys? Yes, National Love Your Pet Day. So maybe some of the dogs and maybe some cats too will be loving the snow later on today, where most of us will not be enjoying that at all. But snow will kind of start to move in here throughout the day. Temperature really not changing much as we continue throughout the afternoon, and conditions will kind of worsen in terms of travel out there later on as that snow will start to accumulate. It still continues to come down across South Dakota and much of Minnesota out there. It'll slowly move into our area throughout the day, and I'm going to be going over that in just a little bit. So I'll be talking about the timing again of that snow, how much we could be seeing, how it'll impact travel, and how long this thing is going to stick around here before it moves on out.
The families of the victims of the shooting in Parkland, Florida, have filed a lawsuit. The suit accuses the school district and sheriff's office of negligence. The families say Broward County could have done more to keep their children safe. Now they're seeking millions in damages. An unarmed campus security monitor is also being named in the lawsuit. He was the only armed guard on duty that day at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, and he remained outside the school during the shooting because he says he was unsure of the shooter's location. Back in December, a judge dismissed a similar suit from 15 survivors on due process grounds.
Walmart customers will soon have the option to buy reusable bags at the checkout. The company says it will roll out its reusable bag initiative next month. The bags will be made of recycled plastic and be available for 98 cents. Other retailers and governments are making a push to reduce single-use plastic bags and items. Most plastics are not biodegradable, so they pile up in landfills, contribute to greenhouse gases, and pollute the oceans.
A North Dakota woman is facing felony charges this morning after police say she scammed people with a fake Make-A-Wish page. 33-year-old Kristen Keel of Donnybrook is accused of setting up a Facebook page to fulfill the wish of a sick child. And later, she lied to police, saying someone else set up the account and used her name to solicit funds. Keel is charged with 3 Class C felonies, including 2 counts of forgery and another for fraudulent communications, plus a misdemeanor for lying to police.
A Frazee family is safe after a car crashed through their home.
What led up to the crash and what charges the driver could be facing? Next.
So a genie tells me I can only have one wish. Here's what I say. More wishes, please.
Gordman's is on the grow again. Look for new stores popping up all over. #Got it at Gordman's.
Stop in and experience the new Buick at the Luther Family Buick GMC Spring Sales Event. Save 25% on the compact and luxurious Buick Encore with all-wheel drive. Take 20% off the quiet and comfortable mid-sized Envision. Or save thousands by jumping into the spacious Enclave at 16% off MSRP. Hurry in for the best selection during the Luther Family Buick GMC Spring Sales Event. Corner of I-29 and 32nd Avenue, South Fargo. See dealer for details.
This April at Shooting Star Casino Monoman and Bagley. Get ready for a wave of excitement, a splash of big thrills, and a boatload of fun during our Catching Cash giveaways with nearly $70,000 in cash and prizes. Play daily to win cash every Sunday up to $2,500. Then reel in the grand prize, $1,000 cash and a Suntracker Bass Buggy Fishing Pontoon on Sunday, April 28th. We've got action that floats your boat. StarCasino.com.
Good news, savvy furniture shoppers. Your patience is about to pay off in the Amish Gallery at Home of Economy. You've waited for our famous 9-hour sale, and it's here this Saturday only. With 10, 20, even 50% off all furniture. Sofas and dining room sets, recliners, Homecrest patio sets. Everything's at its lowest price of the year. Be smart, be quick, and be here this Saturday only for up to 50% off at the Amish Gallery in Grand Forks and Minot.
Home of Economy.
From the courts to your home, witness every exciting play from the 2019 North Dakota Boys and Girls High School Basketball Championships on DVD. Watch the best of the best.
Thompson is Titletown!
DVDs available for a limited time on WDAY.com. $25 plus tax, shipping, and handling for each game. The 2019 North Dakota Boys and Girls High School Basketball Championships on DVD. Order yours today.
Fun news, Gordman shoppers. G Rewards is now Style Circle Rewards. That's a $5 payback reward for every 100 points earned, and double points for store card holders every day. And points count at Stage stores and Stage.com too. Bigger deals, smaller prices. #Got it at Gordman's.
You're watching First News on WDAY.
Dozens of sex trafficking victims were rescued in a sting operation during the NCAA Final Four games in Minneapolis. Minnesota BCI says investigators found 28 people, including a minor, who were being trafficked. Undercover agents posed as sex buyers and minors on social media ahead and during the Final Four. Police say they arrested 47 people on suspicion of solicitation of a minor. 11 people were also booked on probable cause, sex trafficking, and promotion of prostitution. Law enforcement conducted a similar sting when the Super Bowl was at U.S. Bank Stadium last year.
This weekend, winter is coming, and so is the money. The final season of Game of Thrones on HBO is expected to reach record-breaking ratings. And now other companies are looking to cash in on the global phenomenon. From makeup lines with sword-shaped eyeshadow brushes to jousting Super Bowl ads, the cross-branding is coming. Tech company Duolingo will teach you how to speak Valerian like a queen. Adidas has 6 different sneakers representing the various warring factions. Nabisco recreated the show's iconic opening using nearly 3,000 cookies to promote their limited edition Oreos. And Mountain Dew's Can with No Name takes inspiration from Arya Stark's infamous kill list.
A Frazee family in a mobile home is lucky to be safe after a car came crashing into it. They were sitting in their living room and the car missed them by just a few feet. WDAY News learned from police that the driver had gotten into a fight with family on Monday night and drove away before crashing. He was taken to the hospital but is expected to be okay. He could face careless driving and reckless endangerment charges.
And Jared, we are monitoring travel conditions really closely this morning as the storm keeps moving a little bit closer.
Yeah, it's kind of taking its sweet time this morning, just starting to cross over the border into southern tier of the Red River Valley. Still extremely tough travel, nearly impossible over eastern South Dakota. Winds are continuing to increase. It's going to get even windier throughout the day. This continues into western parts of Minnesota, so we have blizzard warnings down there and even parts of I-29 closed once you get over the border into South Dakota. This morning for Fargo, Moorhead, it's been pretty quiet, and the snow is just mainly just crossing over the border right now, just about to Wahpeton, from there to Wheaton, Sisseton, seeing some of that out around Fergus Falls. So this is just starting to move on in. It'll continue northward as we head throughout the day here. Winds will increase. The low pressure system well down to the south. It's kind of in the bottom part of your screen here. So this will lift northward as we get a big pressure change. More wind will filter on in. It's going to get pretty windy for the southern half of the valley, pretty blustery across the north. Snow will lift northward throughout the day. The timing of this, Fargo, Moorhead, thinking late morning to around lunchtime for us. Between Fargo to Grand Forks, kind of early to mid-afternoon. Grand Forks to the international border, late afternoon and evening hours when we're going to kind of see that snow move in here throughout the day. And winds will increase throughout the day. So this afternoon, evening hours are going to get very tough where we do have that snow coming on down. We're looking ahead into Friday. Snow still around here. Saturday, some sunshine, quieter weather. A lot of weather headlines out there. The pink's going to mean a lot of snow. That continues down to the south where we're going to have a lot of wind with the snow, parts of South Dakota into western Minnesota. And that's where the highest amounts of snow will likely be. But for us up here, still the highest amounts will be in the southern half of the valley, kind of south of Fargo, Moorhead. Fargo, Moorhead, still think we can see around 8 inches, maybe even a little bit more. So travel today and tomorrow, weather impacts. The snow is going to be high out there. Eventually, it's going to be some heavier wet snow for us. Mainly the southern half of the valley seeing the highest amounts. And then winds, it's going to be near blizzard conditions, especially in the southern half of the valley here this afternoon once we get that snow coming on down, reduced visibility. So travel is going to just get extremely tough later on today for those of us who have the snow. North, it's going to take a little while to get up there. So when I come back here, I'll continue to go over the snow and the wind, the blowing snow, and which will create some tough travel.
If you've got heart problems, the best buy could be a bag of peanuts.
In a few minutes, we'll tell you how nuts can help those with diabetes. Plus,
Hankinson is already feeling a little bit of that winter-spring snowstorm. We'll show you what the Metro could be dealing with later on today.
Don't miss the big warehouse clear-out going on now at Conlon's. Everything's on sale store-wide with savings up to 70% off. One-of-a-kind closeout and overstocked items. Plus, ask about 60-month special financing. Hurry in for the best selection during Conlon's big warehouse clear-out.
When it comes to your business, insurance answers should come easily. From an agent you know and trust, someone just down the road, not across the country. Like a NODAC agent, a local professional who knows North Dakota and businesses like yours. So if it's an agribusiness, your commercial property, or your customer's kitchen table, the answers are right in front of you. Get the protection your business needs with the service you expect. NODAC Insurance Company. Agents with answers.
Hi, I'm
Taylor from Nelson Window Company. Let us show you how we can add more value to your home while making it more energy efficient. We offer the best in windows and doors and have a large variety of styles and finishes to fit anyone's style. Our team even does service work, including installation, repair, and replacement of all types of glass, doors, and mirrors. Contact our friendly team at Nelson Window Company today for an estimate. Visit us at nelsonwindow.com.
Nelson Window Company.
Radco, your truck accessory store.
Radco, your truck accessory pro.
The store.
Pro? Hey guys, you're both right. Radco is your truck accessory store, and we are the pros.
Radco carries the biggest brands and the best gear to outfit your truck your way. Radco, your truck accessory pro.
Store.
Pro?
Toppers.
Duh, tonneau cover. Oh boy.
Shop in-store or online anytime.
When severe weather strikes your community, be prepared with a WDAY Storm Tracker team. Our weather experts have the experience you need to keep you and your family safe, bringing you the most comprehensive coverage in the region. Get updates and alerts specific to your community on TV, on radio, online, and on the Storm Tracker app. When you need to stay informed, turn to the only name that matters, WDAY Storm Tracker.
Don't miss the big warehouse clearout going on now at Conlon's. Everything's on sale store-wide with savings up to 70% off. One-of-a-kind closeout and overstocked items. Plus, ask about 60-month special financing. Hurry in for the best selection during Conlon's big warehouse clearout.
You're watching First News on WDAY.
This morning's temperatures hanging out here in some 20s to some lower 30s to kick off the morning. Off toward western North Dakota, some 20s and 30s as well. Temps really not going to change as much as we had throughout the day, and the wind already increasing here at this morning. Very windy across the southern half of the valley. Still kind of breezy across the north, but more wind is expected here throughout the day, especially across the south as this storm system moves on in. It's just kind of creeping over the border with North Dakota across South Dakota here. So the southern tier of the Red River Valley just starting to see a little bit of snow, so not quite to Fargo Moorhead yet. I would say your morning commute should be a little quieter here if you're getting going here in the next hour or so. But as we continue throughout late morning into the afternoon, things will change as more of the snow will move on in. Some heavier snow not too far south, Sisseton, just about there to about Highway 12 there, just moving into northeastern parts of South Dakota down the road out of western Minnesota. Futurecast here lifts the snow up northward as we continue throughout the day. By lunchtime, Fargo Moorhead into the south, we'll start to see a lot more snow, and travel will become very tough out there as more snow fills on in. The winds will be increasing throughout the day as well. From Fargo Moorhead to Grand Forks, I'm thinking afternoon hours is when we're going to see that snow kind of filter in there. Grand Forks to the border, likely around late afternoon, evening hours, we're going to see more snow. So tough travel this afternoon, evening hours, overnight into tomorrow as more wind will continue to blow here. By tomorrow, I think we'll start to see more periods of snow where we'll have snow kind of sticking around for a long time throughout the day once it starts for much of the area for the valley today. I got this pause tomorrow afternoon, so still some snow across the region with some pretty gusty winds out there. So it's going to be kind of a two-day situation where travel is going to be pretty tough, and we'll see that accumulating snow. As we head Friday night into Saturday, high pressure will move on in. It will be a little quieter air mass for us, so some quieter weather for the weekend. But today and tomorrow, we're going to be picking up some snow. I think there'll be a pretty drastic cutoff on kind of the north side of this. So Grand Forks looking to be kind of in that 1 to 4 inch range between there and Fargo Moorhead, around 4 to 8. Fargo Moorhead to the border there with South Dakota, around 8 to 12, including Detroit Lakes to near Fergus Falls, and then a lot more snow down to the south of us. Eastern parts of South Dakota is going to get some very heavy snow into western parts of Minnesota. So today, tomorrow are the toughest parts of the forecast here. We're going to be kind of hovering near freezing ourselves. The weekend, some sunshine. We'll get to compacting and melting. Some of that snow won't all melt this weekend for us here, especially across the southern half of the valleys. We'll pick up quite a bit of snow, but next week it'll help as we get some showers around Tuesday, and temperatures will be kind of hanging out there, mainly in the 40s to some 50s. And Grand Forks are looking very similar. It's going to be tough going here later on today, especially the evening in the overnight hours for Thursday, Friday. When I come back in a little bit, talk more about that bus stop forecast, give you an idea what it's going to be like for those kids this morning and how different it'll be heading home later on.
Well, you just heard Jared. We can expect gusting winds and several inches of snow as a spring snowstorm is headed our way.
It's hard to believe it right now, but that's why WDAY reporter Emily Olson is joining us live because she's following the storm for us this morning. How's it going, Emily?
Rob, Sarah, good morning. Well, earlier in the show, actually when the show first started at 5 o'clock, it wasn't as windy as it is right now. Right now, it doesn't look super windy because that wind has been coming in gusts throughout the morning. And about a half hour ago, we were in town in Hankinson, and we had some coverage from the buildings from all that wind. But now we're in open country, and you can probably see from the flags behind me that they are moving at pretty good speeds. And they've been doing this all morning long. And that is one of the reasons why Hankinson has actually closed down their schools for today. So also something to keep in mind as you are traveling throughout the rest of the day, and schools, keep those on your radar as we head into tomorrow as well. But coming up in a little bit, it is getting lighter outside. We'll show you what some of these roads are looking like. Back to you guys.
Well, cashless Amazon Go stores will start taking cash. There are 10 Amazon Go stores in the U.S. where cameras and AI sensors detect products customers take from the shelf. Shoppers are automatically charged through their phones when they leave. But some critics say the system discriminates against millions of people without bank accounts and disproportionately hurts minorities, immigrants, and senior citizens. Amazon did not say when Go stores will start accepting cash. Go stores are now located in San Francisco, Chicago, and Seattle. Amazon is reportedly considering opening up to 3,000 stores by 2021.
Well, at a store, you can find peanuts, almonds, cashews, walnuts, tree nuts, and many more. And it turns out grabbing a pack or container could help your heart, especially if you have diabetes. Researchers say people who ate 5 or more servings each week had a 17% lower risk of heart disease and 31% lower risk of death. Among the different kinds of nuts, tree nuts showed to be the most beneficial.
The Queen of Talk Shows will partner with the King of Technology and a real-life prince on a mental health partnership. Oprah and Prince Harry of the British royal family will make a documentary television series. It'll launch on the Apple TV platform in 2020. It aims to inspire viewers to have an honest conversation about their own challenges when it comes to mental health. And despite the new show, people are rolling down the streets on new bikes.
Coming up, we'll tell you how the Great Rides bike share is doing in this weather and who's been using them.
6-year financing has been extended at Home Furniture. Everything is on sale, and you can finance it free for 6 years. Plus, get free shipping. Extended savings with extended 0% financing for 6 years. Now at Home Furniture.
Introducing Fresh Step Clean Paws. With low tracking litter, your vacuum becomes a cat toy. Let's make litter less of a mess. Let's start fresh.
The toughest truck in the Northland is back for a limited time. Don't miss the Northland Edition F-150, America's best-selling truck 42 years straight. It's got best-in-class towing and payload, also best-in-class horsepower, plus other smart features to tackle whatever the Northland throws your way. Don't miss your chance to get a 2019 Northland Edition F-150. Get over $11,000 in total savings plus $750 Northland cash on a Northland Edition F-150 at your local Northland Ford dealer.
Free checking that pays me? Sounds too good to be true.
It pays me? No way. The days of high-interest checking and savings accounts are over.
There's free ATMs. It's called Kasasa? What's Kasasa?
I hear time and time again that Kasasa sounds too good to be true. Well, it's really not. Kasasa is a free checking account with great cash rewards and free ATMs. To find out more, stop by First Community Credit Union or go online to myfccu.com. Life's better with community. First Community Credit Union.
The Culligan High-Efficiency Water Softener is the world's best. It's backed by the industry's strongest warranty and serviced by the world's largest local dealer network. Click or call Culligan Water and start saving today.
Hi, I'm Matt Fallon, preaching pastor at Messiah's Hour of Worship television broadcast. As kids, many of us learned the 10 Commandments. The third commandment is to honor the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. Messiah's Hour of Worship is on the air to help you keep this very important precept of the Lord. Please support and attend your local church. But if for whatever reason that's not possible, tune into this channel on Sunday mornings at 11 and join us for worship. May God bless you and yours in all the seasons of life.
It's BOGO time. Buy one rug at sale price and get another rug free at Home World Rugs. Mix and match from over 30 patterns and up to 11 sizes. Rug experts in every showroom can help you find the perfect rug. Buy one, get one rug free. Now in all Home Furniture locations.
You're watching First News on WDAY.
This morning, starting off kind of chilly out there, some of us in the 20s to some lower 30s. Temps really not going to change much here over the next 48 hours or so. I think it'll be a lot of 20s to some mid 30s on the high temperature range here for us. But that's how we're starting off. Also already pretty windy, especially the southern half of the valley. Sustained winds, upper teens to some lower 20s. Just starting to pick up across the north. And this morning's winds are out of the northeast. So those kids out of the bus stop, very southern tier of the Red River Valley, will start to see a little bit of snow. Main thing this morning for most of the valleys, winds will be increasing. And it's pretty chilly out there. The drive home, a little bit different situation. We're going to kind of have that sideways snow later on as winds are going to pick up and snow will start to set in. And it's going to be some heavier wet snow for parts of the valley by the mid-afternoon hours. I think it'll be kind of between Fargo, Moorhead to Grand Forks as it lifts northward here throughout the day. So Fargo will be dealing with the snow coming home with the bus stop forecast and especially the southern half of the valley. Grand Forks may not set in until later on today. And we won't have as high of impacts as the southern half of the valley and even South Dakota, western Minnesota will, where we have the strongest winds and some of the higher accumulations of snow. It's not quite to Fargo yet this morning, just kind of crossing over the border there. There's a lot more snow down toward the south. This is lifting northward and will slowly move in to the valley here as we continue throughout the day. So about 4 minutes or so from now, I'll be showing you future casts. I'll let you know how the snow will impact us here throughout the day, when the system will move on out, how much snow we could see here as we close out this work week.
Well, people in Fargo are already pedaling around on bikes, even with a snowstorm on the way. Great Rides Bike Share put out 80 bikes at 10 different stations over the last few days. They plan to have 100 total. NDSU students can use the bikes for free. Everyone else can either pay $4 online or at a kiosk to use them. The pros say don't let a little snow affect your urge to ride a bike. And as the snow heads to our area, high winds are hitting South Dakota. After the break, we'll tell you what roads to avoid today if you're heading south. And Jared's in next with a look into what we can expect in the upcoming forecast.
Get 10 double-hung windows with exterior finish completely installed for only $55.40, plus 0% financing for well-qualified buyers.
Window World of Fargo.
Not only do we stand behind our windows,
we stand on them.
It's time to turn heads in a Toyota. Turn up your tunes in the Corolla hatchback with Apple CarPlay compatibility. Turn up your tech in Corolla with pre-collision system standard. Turn up your fun in the Camry with Alexa connectivity. This spring, turn up the heat in a Toyota. Lease a new 2019 Camry for $279 per month or get 0.9% APR financing for 60 months on Camry. Find yours at buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
I was proud of my son when he got his degree. I was proud when he got that job in the city, managed a team. But the day I was most proud was when he realized he was a farmer like me.
We're Corteva Agriscience, the next generation of farming for the next generation of farmers. Keep growing.
When a tornado ripped through the valley in 1957, destroying 66 city blocks of North Fargo, we covered it. When the Red River swelled, prompting city-saving sandbagging efforts in 97 and 09, we covered it. We've covered the tragic moments when our communities have been shaken to their core, and the celebratory moments when they've been filled with pride and joy. But whether we're covering disaster and tragedy or accomplishment and celebration, one thing has always been clear. There's power in this community. And there's power in community journalism. We are proud to live in, support, and report on this community. And we know that whatever we may face, together we've got it covered.
Get 10 medium slider windows with exterior finish completely installed for only $62.40, plus 0% financing for well-qualified buyers.
Window World of Fargo.
not only do we stand behind our windows,
we stand on them.
You're watching First News on WDAY.
Snow continues to impact South Dakota and much of Minnesota here, at least the southern half of Minnesota this morning. It's just starting to cross over the border, so down near Wahpeton to Breckenridge, south toward Alexandria, starting to see the snow. It's not quite to Fargo-Moorhead yet, but it is getting pretty breezy out there this morning. Running through Futurecast here, the center of the system is way down to the south, bottom center part of your TV screen there if you're tuning in. As we head throughout the day running through Futurecast, I got this pause at 7 a.m., so it starts to lift northward from around Fargo-Moorhead to about I-94, Highway 10 to the south. We're going to see that between lunchtime and this morning. So it's going to be kind of a morning situation that snow starts to move on in. From Fargo-Moorhead to Grand Forks, so kind of between Highway 10 and I-94 to US 2. It looks like about afternoon hours we're going to see that snow lift up toward your area. And then Grand Forks toward the border, probably going to be around this evening into the overnight hours that snow will lift northward. I got this pause at 7 a.m. tomorrow. So snow continues to come around the area here, just kind of whipping around this low pressure system kind of on the west side and the north side of this, as we'll have some wraparound moisture. Big pressure change still over the region, so you can expect more wind tonight into tomorrow as well. I don't think the snow will be as intense. There'll be more snow showers and areas or periods of snow throughout your Friday, but still going to be tough travel out there with all the accumulating snow expected for later half of today, tonight, with the wind still blowing and some light snow for tomorrow. By Saturday, high pressure will move on in. We'll get some sunshine, get to melting and compacting some of this snow at least. But snow forecast here for today into tomorrow. Northern half the valley, not as much expected. Grand Forks will be kind of that 1 to 4. I think it'll be a very sharp cutoff up there, just meaning that you see the range maybe around 20 miles. You see that snow really taper off. Otherwise, Grand Forks to Fargo-Moorhead through Bemidji, War Road, we're going to be in that 4 to 8 inch range. Fargo-Moorhead to the border. Off toward the eastern parts of the valley here to Detroit Lakes, Fergus Falls. We could be in that 8 to 12, and farther down toward the south, even more snow is expected. So winter travel impacts for us. Snow, wind, and roads all kind of going to be high impacts later on today. Not so much this morning, except in eastern South Dakota, western Minnesota. Highest amounts of snow will be in the southern half of the valley, near blizzard conditions at times this afternoon toward the evening. That's when those winds are going to peak for us here, meaning that we're going to have some blowing snow, reduced visibility. It's just going to be tough going all around. So winds are going to pick up here later on today. Already seeing that this morning, but this afternoon, evening hours, I think will be kind of the toughest part of the forecast for us today, dealing with the snow. Temperature range really not changing today and tomorrow. And just a quick look at that 7-day forecast. Chilly for today with that snow and the wind, as well as tomorrow. Weekend, some sunshine out there, and likely heading toward around 40 or so. And I'll talk more about the weekend forecast and talk about your Friday forecasts coming up next.
Well, that snowstorm that Jared has just been talking about all morning long really is beginning to make its way into the region.
And WDAY reporter Emily Olson is joining us live from where we're beginning to see that storm hit. Good morning, Emily.
Rob Sear, good morning. Well, we are beginning to see it here in Hankinson. You can probably tell from my hood that it is pretty windy out here. Actually, earlier, our WDAY photographer, Eric Mathias, was actually holding down the camera's tripod so that our camera wouldn't get knocked over. But as you can see, we don't have any coverage from the wind from any buildings or neighborhoods. We are completely in open country right now. And actually, that storm, as Jared has been mentioning all morning, is in South Dakota right now, which is one of the reasons why I-29 is closed down from the North Dakota border all the way down to Sioux Falls. And actually, NDOT just changed their travel map this morning, and now roads in Wahpeton as well as Hankinson are snow covered and also have scattered ice on them. So something to keep in mind if you are going to be traveling in this area. Coming up in a little bit, we're going to head into town to show you what conditions look like in there and also tell you about Hankinson schools closing for the day. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Emily. And as we prepare for the snow to hit our region, South Dakota is dealing with lots of snow and high wind speeds. If you're planning to head to South Dakota, don't. I-29 from the North Dakota border to Sioux Falls is closed, just like Emily mentioned, because of that blizzard in the state. And some places in South Dakota already have more than a foot of snow. And winds are gusting to 40 miles per hour, making whiteout conditions. And in southern Minnesota, a handful of highways just south of the Twin Cities are closed. This video is from I-35 yesterday. This morning, wind gusts of around 50 miles per hour are expected to hit. Authorities say you can expect these conditions to continue into tomorrow.
And the city of Fargo is now gearing up to go back into winter mode. With snow in the forecast, they worked all day yesterday, putting plows back on and getting trucks ready to spread sand. They also have to pull off around 30 water pumps to protect them from the snow. They say even if the snow misses us, they couldn't take the chance. The city would like to remind people that even though we won't get as much snow as our neighbors to the south, the streets will still be slippery, so do drive carefully.
And UND President Mark Kennedy's new job could be in jeopardy this morning. Yesterday, WDAY told you how Kennedy is the lone finalist to be the next president at the University of Colorado. Last night, Regent Leslie Smith tweeted, quote, "Some information about Mark has come to light that is concerning. My colleagues and I will be exploring this further." There is a 14-day vetting period before the Board of Regents votes for president. Another regent, Carol Napier, told the Boulder Daily Camera newspaper that she's concerned that Kennedy voted against same-sex marriage and abortion rights while in Congress. Napier called on the board to reconsider Kennedy and that voting for him would be harmful. If Kennedy is voted in, he will leave UND in late May or early June.
Homeward Animal Shelter is holding its annual Spaghetti fundraiser. Coming up, when and where you'll be able to stop in for lunch.
And of course, more snow is on the way. Jared's back with another look at our upcoming forecast.
Guys, I want you to meet someone. This is Jamie. You're going to be seeing a lot more of him now.
Not calling him Dad.
Oh, no.
Look, I get it. Some new guy comes in, helping your mom bundle and save with Progressive. But hey, we're all in this together. Right, champ? I'll get more nuggets. How about some carrots? You want to ruin your dinner? You're not my dad! That's fair. Overstepped.
Thinking about losing a parent is difficult at any age, and discussing their final wishes isn't easy. But knowing their preferences means you can honor their life in a personal and meaningful way. Pre-plan your loved one's funeral with the caring and experienced team at Bolger Funeral Home. So when that time does come, you can focus on what's important. Schedule a meeting with Bolger Funeral Home and Cremation Services today.
Come on out and see why you're going to love MCC.
It takes a team to bring the story home every day. It takes a leader to build a legacy of trust.
As the only locally owned news station in the region, we're there for you at every turn.
We're your neighbors, telling the stories that matter because your community is our community.
So when you need to reconnect, remember that we're working every day, just like you.
Trying to make a better tomorrow.
WDAY News, the only locally owned news station in the region.
During Unclaimed Freight Furniture's Customer Appreciation Sale, we're saying thank you with big savings. Score up to $200 rollback savings on Sealy's best-selling Queen mattress, now just $8.98. Or this Ashley Sleep Queen adjustable set for only $4.98. Buy now at unclaimedfreightfurniture.com.
This is my moment. This is the arena. Everyone wants to win.
Light 'em up, light 'em up.
The young hotshot versus the heavyweight legend. Your mistake was underestimating me. All new For the People, tonight on ABC.
You're watching First News on WDAY.
Fergus Falls plans on holding its State of the City address, and it's already expecting a full house. The address will be given at a Center for the Arts downtown. Governor Tim Walz will be attending and taking part. All the tickets for the event have been claimed, but it will be streamed online at several area restaurants in town. A reception will be held after the speech at the Fergus Falls Senior Center.
And Homeward Animal Shelter in Fargo will host a major lunchtime fundraiser today. The annual Spaghetti and No Balls luncheon will take place from 11 to 1 this afternoon at the Holiday Inn. You can eat for a suggested donation of about $10. There will also be a raffle. All the proceeds from the spaghetti lunch go to the Spay and Neuter Fund at the shelter.
And an open house will be held this morning in Erskine for people who go over plans for the summer construction project on Highway 2. People working on the project will be at the Erskine City Hall to answer questions about it from 10 to noon. It's scheduled to begin this spring and will stretch along the highway from Erskine to Highway 59. The resurfacing project will also include curb, gutter, and culvert construction, as well as concrete repairs to the Highway 59 overpass bridge.
And Jared, I know Rob is oiling up the Prius here just in case we need to take any crazy rides in this winter storm.
Yeah, it's going to be a little tougher go later on. So when we leave work, maybe just starting for the snow. So since we get in so early, we get to leave pretty early in the morning. So I've been tracking that snow just developing here just to the south of Fargo, Moorhead, just kind of moving over the border. Everything's staying pretty light. And it's really blowing around already this morning. Saying it's some finer snow, but I think it will be a heavier wet snow later on. Still a lot of weather headlines out there. The biggest impacts with this storm will still be across South Dakota, western and southwestern parts of Minnesota. We'll have the strongest winds here today with some of the highest snowfall as well. For our area, we're still going to have some strong winds, just won't be as impressive as this south of us here. Running through Futurecast, snow lifts northward throughout the day by lunchtime into Fargo, Moorhead, and to the south. By the earlier parts of the evening, late afternoon, Grand Forks will start to see some snow move on in. This will last overnight tonight into tomorrow. Won't be as intense as snowfall rates for tomorrow, but there'll still be some out there, and it's still going to be pretty windy on your Friday. So today, tomorrow, still dealing with the system. Then quieter weather. Got this pause at 6 o'clock on Saturday. We're looking into Sunday, still some more quiet weather. So good news about the weekend, it's quiet. We'll get to melting and compacting some of that snow, but still going to be some very high rates of snow and some very heavy snow to the south of us. It could be over 2 feet of snow in some places of South Dakota. So the south of us there. Southern tier of the Red River Valley, we'll be still looking at upper single digits to maybe some teens out there as you get closer to the border with South Dakota with not as much snow up toward the north. So just expect a lot of snow here in the next 2 days as we look toward the weekend. Some sunshine for Saturday and Sunday. Windy on Friday still with that snow linger around, but we'll get into those upper 30s to lower 40s both Saturday and Sunday for Grand Forks as well as Fargo. Moorhead area, so we'll melt and compact at least some of the snow, and some of us maybe get rid of a lot of it over the weekend with the sunshine. Out the door forecast, that snow is developing. I just give you a little taste of that there. I'll be going over that and talk about more tough travel later on this afternoon.
And in just a few minutes, we'll take one last look at the forecast.
And we'll tell you what you need to know before you get out the house this morning.
The Moorhead Center Mall consists of the perfect blend of shops, restaurants, boutiques, and services. Stretch your dollar with no sales tax on clothing and shoes. Park close and experience fun and exciting events. Find something unique at the Moorhead Center Mall.
Real people, steal people. They want real power, real options, and real value. Buy a reliable chainsaw starting at $179.95 or a lightweight battery-powered trimmer set at $199.95. This season, make it happen at your local Steel dealer. Search STIHL or visit steeldealers.com.
This Saturday, big legends and big air are coming to Grand Forks when the Hugo's Toughest Muster Truck Tour Championship Weekend returns to Alaris Center with the legendary Bigfoot, the iconic Dragon Slayer, Big Air, Quad Chaos, the Wheelie King, Dirt Crew, and more. Plus freestyle motocross. Free pit passes are available at Hugo. Discounted family 4-packs are also available in advance. The Hugo's Toughest Muster Truck Tour Championship Weekend this Saturday, Alaris Center.
Wake up!
Brian!
On the right side with Live.
I have a bad side, here it is, and a good side.
Next Live, Molly Shannon. Plus, you'll love Holly D.
Listen, I watch the Jersey Shore, I know.
Yeah.
Every day, learn on Live.
Iceland is no longer the healthiest country in the world, which led me to go, Iceland was the healthiest country in the world?
Weekdays at 9 a.m. on WDAY WDAZ. When severe weather strikes your community, be prepared with a WDAY Storm Tracker team. Our weather experts have the experience you need to keep you and your family safe, bringing you the most comprehensive coverage in the region. Get updates and alerts specific to your community on TV, on radio, online, and on the Storm Tracker app. When you need to stay informed, turn to the only name that matters. WDAY Storm Tracker.
Find something unique at the Moorhead Center Mall. It's the perfect blend of stores, restaurants, boutiques, and services. Come experience their relaxed atmosphere. Park close and save with no sales tax on clothing and shoes. They have something for everyone at the Moorhead Center Mall.
Kirsten Keeley, WDAY News.
Well, several inches of snow is expected as a winter storm is headed our way.
WDAY reporter Emily Olson is joining us one last time where areas are beginning to see snow. Good morning, Emily.
Rob, Sarah, good morning. Right now we are in Hankinson where the wind has picked up quite a bit. Actually, if we pan on right over here down this road, you can see that truck is going a little bit slower than he's probably used to going. That wind is really causing a lot of this snow to blow. Our WDAY photographer Eric Mathias is actually holding down the camera all morning long so our camera doesn't tip over. But just a reminder, NDOT just reported that the roads in Wahpeton as well as Hankinson are snow covered, as well as having scattered ice across them. Something to keep in mind as we do go throughout our day. Hankinson schools also just canceled school, so also keep an eye on school closings, business closings, church closings throughout the rest of the day today going into tomorrow. Reporting live in Hankinson, Emily Olson, WDAY News.
You can see how those conditions are already changing out there this morning. When she was first out there, it was just windy, and now the snow is kind of settling on in. It just looks kind of bitter with all the wind out there this morning and the snow combination. Temperatures, southern Napa Valley right around freezing. We have some 20s across the north. Here's a look at the wind speeds right now. Still pretty brisk there out of the northeast for us. It has been a little drier wind, but eventually here the system will just continue to lift northward this morning. Already seeing that kind of move into the southern Napa Valley. Not quite to Fargo Moorhead yet, and it is kind of some finer snow at the moment. Kind of that leading edge between Wahpeton to Fargo Moorhead, not quite to Detroit Lakes, but this is lifting northward here and just mainly the southern half of the valley. So from Fargo Moorhead to the south, it's going to be a morning situation for this to start. It'll continue to fill on in. I think we'll start to get some heavier snow. Fargo Moorhead to Grand Forks kind of looks like about lunchtime to the afternoon hours, and then by the evening into the overnight hours, more of this will filter up toward the north. It's also going to continue to be very windy here throughout the day, overnight tonight, and then tomorrow as we head into your Friday forecast, there'll be more some periods of snow or some lighter snow showers out there. Still going to be pretty gusty. This is by 5 o'clock, so still pretty strong winds there kind of out of the northwest for us on Friday, with the snow kind of continue through the air. So it's going to be kind of a two-day situation. Road conditions are going to get worse here throughout the day for the valley as the snow lifts northward and the winds continue to increase. And Friday will be pretty tough travel across much of the region. Saturday, Sunday, quiet weather for us with some sunshine. We'll start to melt some of the snow, compact it out there, but there's going to be some heavy snow, especially the southern half of the valley. Fargo, Moorhead, Wahpeton, Fergus Falls, Detroit Lakes could be pretty close to that 8-inch and even more in some places, especially as you head down toward the south, crossing over the border. In the northern half of the valley, not as much snow, but maybe considering it is mid-April, any snow is too much snow for most of us. I know there's about 3 of you out there saying bring it on anyway, but not for me. I don't think Rob or Sarah either. But anyway, we have wind and snow in the forecast for today and tomorrow. Quieter weekend. The next week we'll start to warm up some more.
That's good news.
Yeah, don't bring it on. Don't bring it on.
I know, I wish.
Thank you, and thanks for joining us here on First News.
And join us this evening starting at 4 o'clock.
The following is